Well, after a week off, here we are with the Israel Update with Hanoch Young coming to you from Modi'in, Israel. And Mike Clayton, I'm not in Modi'in, Israel, Franklin, North Carolina, at least for the moment. Hanoch, good morning, or good afternoon there. How are you?
All things considered, the word for lockdown in Hebrew, by the way, is seger. In English, you would spell it S-E-G-E-R.
Okay.
So I've gotten in the habit when I'm in a store, when I'm leaving, after saying thank you, I say seger sameach, which means a happy lockdown. This is a unique expression. I am clearly, based on everyone's reactions, the only one in Israel that ever thought of saying that. And of course, I'm wearing my I'm robbing a stagecoach, bandana, in either Marine Corps digital camouflage or something. I make an impression, let's put it that way. I know that's hard for you to imagine.
Yes, I know. It's probably hard for all of our listeners to imagine you making an impression when you go somewhere.
Yeah, so there isn't a lot of somewheres to go. For essential foods or medicines, we can go up to 1 kilometer away.
Wow.
Which is 0.62 miles. That's all that is.
Okay.
So supposedly they're going to begin discussing, let's put that in italics and quotes, like Joey used to do on Friends, put it into a little air quotes. And supposedly they have 9 stages of how we're going to get out of this mess.
9.
But here in Israel, like elsewhere in the world, politics is everything. So what's stated yesterday has no basis on today and is forgotten by tomorrow. So we'll see.
True.
We'll see.
True.
My hope and prayer is February 28th, I'll be at Ben Gurion Airport welcoming you and all our wonderful friends from the Connect to Israel Experience 2021. And, we plan accordingly. We move forward.
Bezrat
We
Hashem. There is
prepare.
word that they are going to try to open Israel in February. And so, we have a tour already booked. We have a tour already ready to go. And if people want information on that, they can email you or me, and we'll be glad to do that. Give me some ideas here. How was Sukkot in Modi'in in your little happy lockdown time?
It was absolutely, totally bizarre.
Okay.
2020 will be the year when there were no chagim, no holidays. We have been on lockdown for every single holiday. We were for Pesach.
Yeah.
Shavuot we weren't. Okay, Shavuot we weren't. But Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret, Simchat Torah, boom. Each time has been a lockdown. So it's really bizarre when the essence of Sukkot is welcoming guests into your sukkah and you're sitting there all by your lonesome.
Mm.
And, there were some people, when I made that remark on Facebook, who kind of, a little bit of a snarky response of, well, good, now you can have some alone time with Hashem. Well, I can have alone time with Hashem. That doesn't mean that I can't have guests in my sukkah for an hour.
Yeah.
So, forget that. But I got a tremendous sense in this isolation period. And again, Sukkot is always a period during the intermediate days when I guide an enormous amount of groups, which hasn't happened since the 5th of March. Well, I got this sense, and it came recently. I was reading something, and they quoted something that a reporter had asked Nelson Mandela when he was released from prison.
Okay.
And the question to Mandela was, all those years in prison, How was it that you were possibly able to survive? Mandela is reported to have responded, I wasn't surviving, I was preparing.
Wow.
And in the Sukkah, it hit me. Here it is, the ultimate holiday on our calendar, on the minds and hearts of every biblical-minded person. The ultimate holiday of faith, where we go out in this temporary, fragile structure at a time when the entire world is seemingly temporarily and fragilely insane. And the question that I want to then leave for our listeners is, are y'all using the time to survive this experience, or are you using the time to prepare for what your role in the restoration is coming up?
That's a thought-provoking question, comment, statement. We do have these things of, well, after November, after January, after this, after that, after the other thing, instead of looking at it and saying, yeah, I need to be, this is preparation time for whatever there is. And that does not matter. It doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden or Netanyahu or Gantz or whatever. Those are just the things that are happening around us in the natural. At some point, we have to plug into what is happening around us in the spiritual sense, because that's truly the reality of everything. Speaking
Absolutely.
of the spiritual sense, this week we have entered into a new Torah cycle. We go back to Bereshit, roll the Torah scroll back, Bereshit chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. And everything comes forth from that verse. How will you, as a traditional believing Jew in Modein, Israel, what are you looking toward in this Torah cycle?
It creates the opportunity, literally, for new beginnings. To go back and study the Torah as if it were your very first time. Take all your preconceived notions, put them aside. All the notes that you took at all the conferences you went to and all the seminars and all that fun stuff, put it all aside. Take a fresh look at Hashem's communication with the people that he wants to be in covenant with. Look at it from that perspective and start over. Bereshit, in the beginning or beginnings of. It's a real chance for us, and particularly now. I mentioned this to you the other day. I am so sick of everyone saying the world will never be the same place after COVID-19. For those of us who were conscious on 9/11, the attacks and the attacks across America, the attack on America, everyone said that. And ultimately, the only thing that's really changed is air travel. TSA, a bunch of new rules. It's not that America is different. The concrete planters that they put on the streets surrounding Wall Street to prevent truck bombs were taken out in 2008. Yeah. I remember, I was there. I was still in New York. What this world is going to be, we don't know. what we believe the kingdom and the restoration will be remains the same. That's what we should be focused on. Not whether Walmart will have footprints telling y'all which aisles you can go down and which aisles you can come back. By the way, when I see things like that on video, I'm busy rolling on the floor because Walmart needs to have a sign saying you all should wear clothes, not undies, and not undies when you come into our store. I will dress at Walmart. You can't unsee them, America. 2013, and that's the truth.
That's true. You're breaking up just a little bit there, but we got the message through, I believe. One of the things I need to tell people is that the Israeli schools are all on Zoom now, and so it's the afternoon for Hanoch, and it's very, very difficult. Hanoch, just to give you an update of what's going on here a little bit, I went into Walmart.
Yes, please.
I went into Walmart yesterday. You can go down any aisle, whichever way you want to go. It's not a big deal. I walked in without a mask and no one said anything to me, which was really kind of amazing. There was a number of other rebellious people in the store also with me. And it's and you can go through now the self-checkout. All of a sudden, somehow, I don't know how this happened, but all of that change that was, the shortage of change that we had there for a few months ago, somebody found it. So, obviously, all these people got in their little piggy banks with the billions of dollars and brought it back, and we have change now. It's not a big deal. The only thing that has not changed at Walmart is the people wearing their jammies. It's the same.
Well, as we in Israel like to say in Hebrew, by the way, I'll take you to a supermarket where you can do the self-checkout in Hebrew. It is a real trip. It really is. Particularly when you have produce that you wait.
Yeah, I've actually done that, and I'm not sure what I actually paid for. It is when you, it kind of reminded me of the time that someone went to the grocery store for sugar and came back with laundry detergent. Now, how they didn't smell the difference between sugar and laundry detergent, I'm not really sure. I just hope they didn't put it in their coffee.
Well, I had a buddy that I was here with in 1975, when I was a mere toddler. And that was like that was Israel before it became very commercial and imported a lot of things. So a lot of the wrappings of boxes were like plain brown, it didn't have the flashy color advertisements. Hard to believe. So he bought what he believed to be powdered dish detergent, rather laundry detergent. And he put his stuff in the bathtub, ran the water, and sprinkled this. And it wasn't suzzing. So he calls me in, and it's yellow, and it's got little green flecks in it. It was chicken soup mix.
It was what?
Chicken soup mix.
Chicken soup. Yeah, well,
You can't make this stuff up, Mike. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, nor should you. All right, Hanoch, our signal is
what people
terrible.
Should be doing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, now is the time that people should be saving.
Yeah.
So the moment the skies open, people can, sign up for our tour, come to Israel, get on an airplane, whatever needs to be done. But now's the time that people need to be in that mode of preparation as well. The thing about the change that I wanted to mention is all those people who were convinced that there was a nefarious plot, and there very well may have been and may still be, for, one world government, one currency, one, everything on credit, everyone being monitored. It's interesting. Everyone's up in arms. And then when a particular scenario like Operation Jade Helm a number of years ago, when the federal government was supposedly coming into the Republic of Texas, declaring martial law and taking away everyone's guns, sometimes it's in people's heads. But, you mentioned earlier people saying, well, it'll be over in November, it'll be over in January. I remember a particular world figure that was convincing everybody that this would be over by Easter. It very well may be. He never stated the year, though. That may be the key point.
Mm-hmm. Well, one day...
And I don't know when Easter is anyway, so, it didn't help me.
Yeah. One day it will all be coming to a beginning.
Although I'm wearing my Easter bonnet, if you look carefully.
Well,
yes. And that's, I think, preparation and beginnings.
There you go. Well, we're going to, the signal's getting a little worse, so we're going to have to say goodbye to your Easter bonnet.
Bye.
All right.
And we'll see you all back next week.
All right. We'll talk later.
Take care, Mike.
All right.
Good. Bye-bye.
Bye.